Hey all, welcome to my game room. AJ from Rolling with Roc here with another episode of Roc Reviews. Today we're going to be covering Downforce from Restoration Games. Downforce is an auction bidding racing game for 2 to 6 car owners who are cheering on their own drivers as well as making bets on who they think will finish in the top 3. Ultimately, this game doesn't come down to who finishes first, but who has the most money at the end of the game. Let's go ahead, show you how to set up, how to play, talk about an upgrade, and then give you my final thoughts on the game. So I've set this up for a 3-player game of Downforce. Each player will be given their own score pad and their own pile of speed cards with an equal number. We will shuffle the power cards and the speed 8 cards separately and then flip one over at a time for the auction phase of the game. You also put out the cards randomly before doing any auctions, and then you set the driver plaques to the side because whoever wins the auction for each driver will take those and place it by their score pad. So we're going to go ahead and run through the first auction of the game. The driver will be the blue car, and the power is cunning. You always move your cars even on other players' turns. It's a great ability. So each player then would choose a card from their hand on what they're looking to bid for this driver power combination. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll just flip over the top card of each deck. Player 1 has the blue car in the number 1 slot. So that means that they are betting $1 million for this combination. Player 2 does not have a blue car on their card. That means they are not betting for this combination. And then player 3 has the blue car at the number 3 slot. So they are betting $3 million on the blue car and cunning combination and win this auction. So they will take the power 8 card for blue, the cunning power ability, and the blue driver plaque. You would go ahead and return those cards to their players. They do not use them up during the auction. And then you would auction off the next combination of driver and power. You do this until each player has at least one combination of driver and power. So let's say the auction went ahead this way, where player 1 winning bids for the orange and yellow drivers and the unpredictable and strategic powers. Player 2 won black and green with the tricky and determined powers, and player 3 won red and blue with the cunning and aggressive powers. Now each player can only have one power in the game, so let's go ahead and get rid of the strategic, determined, and aggressive powers and leave unpredictable, tricky, and cunning. The other powers would get discarded to the box. Now you would go ahead and take your power 8 cards matching your drivers, put them into your hand, and put your driver plaques next to your score sheet as to remind you who are your drivers. You'd also make a note of that on your score sheet, of course, at your auction price. So now that the auction is over, it's time to begin the race, and the player who controls the car on the pole position is the first player to play. So in this case, that's player 3, since they control the blue car. They would choose a card from their hand and go ahead and try to move their blue and red cars as far as possible. So they have a great card here that is a 6 blue, 5 red, 4 green, 3 black, 2 orange, and 1 yellow. So we'll go ahead and make those moves right now. We move blue 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Red moves 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Green will move 4. They can move diagonally ahead. They cannot just move side to side. They can move diagonally up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Black will move 3. 1, 2, 3. Orange is 2. 1, 2. And yellow can move 1. So anytime, and then you would discard that card. Anytime a card is looking to move, they can move to a space only ahead of their line. So if the line is equal across, they cannot move laterally. They have to move forward. If you cannot move, you just stop and you lose your turn. So then it would be the next player's turn, and they're looking at moving the yellow and orange. So let's see if they have a good yellow or orange card. They have an okay one. They have one that will move orange 4 and yellow 3. The first thing we would do would move green 6, 1, 2. Now here, blue is blocking the inside corner, so green has to come to the outside for 3, 4, 5, 6. And then black moves 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here now, black is blocking the road. Nobody can get by black until black moves again. So the next player, they will want to move black because they're a black player, but even if you weren't, you'd want to move the black car so that you can get your other cars through. Orange would move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and orange is going to block red when red moves. Yellow moves 3, 1, 2, 3. Blue would move 2, but they can't because black is in the way. And then red moves 1, which they can move the 1 space, but they would not have been able to move any more than that. So that card gets discarded. So you go around until one car passes the first line right here. And this starts the first round of betting. On your score sheet, there are 3 rounds of betting. Right here, round 1, round 2, and round 3. And you choose one car that you think is going to finish first. When you do the first round of betting, the money is higher than when you do the second and then subsequently the third round of betting because you have more information when you get to the second round and the third round as you close in on the finish line. So you're making wagers on who will finish first each time. And then you will get money at the end of the game based on if they finish first, second, or third. So here we are almost at the end of the game with all the race cars still very much in it and very close. And I wanted to highlight one of the cards that you get, which is the Power 8 card, which looks like that for the red player. And what you would do is when you want to play your Power 8 card, you play it just like any other power card. But only that color car is going to move. So in this case, if the red and blue player played their red Power 8 card, red's going to go 8 spaces forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And cross the finish line first. Even though they were towards the back of the pack, they would finish first place. This would be great if the red and blue player had bet on red early, but for one reason or another they fell a little bit behind. They're able to get them higher and earn more points for their betting actions. Now the final speed card that I want to talk about is ones that have a wild on them. The wild is represented by a white car, and what that does is you can use the wild for any color that is not already on the card. So in this case, we already have blue, orange, and yellow on the card in the 6, 4, and 1 spots respectively. So you could use this for green, black, or red, unless you have the unpredictable power, which allows you to use a wild for a color already on the card. So if yellow and orange were to play this card right now, you would move blue 6 spaces, and that would get them across the line and in second place. But yellow and orange then would move orange 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange would cross in third place. You have a wild for 2, so he could use that wild for yellow because of his ability, but no other player could do that. So yellow would move 2, and then move the extra 1 on the card to finish in 4th place. So only with the unpredictable power can you use wilds as the same color on the card. So here we are at the end of the game with red card finishing first, blue in second, orange in third, yellow in fourth, black in 5th, and green in 6th. So we would go ahead and check out our score sheets and see how each player did. Once again, you have your auction prices for what you paid on the side there. You have who you bet for on each part of the track on bet 1, 2, and 3. You would circle your amounts for any ones you got right. So red did finish first on both bet 1 and bet 2. So this player gets 9 million and 6 million. But they said black for bet 3. So they get 0 for that because black finished 5th. They did not finish in the top 3. Then you check out how your cars did that you owned. And this player had red and blue, and they got first and second, so they get 12 million and 9 million. And then you go ahead and you add up your racing total, which was 21, plus your betting total, which was 15, and minus your auction total, the money that you spent for the cars, which was 8, to give us a total of $28 million earned. So we compare that to the other players, and the player with the most money wins Downforce. So we've seen how to play, now for my thoughts on Downforce. This game is a perfect mixture of lightweight and compelling action, as you play cards to push forward the cars you own and bet on, and leave the others in the dust. Some of the things I really like about Downforce is the double-sided board, so you have 2 different courses to race on. The art style, both on the board and on the driver cards, I really enjoy that. And the variable player powers that let you do different things compared to the other players, which my favorite one is Tricky, which allows you to play from the bottom up, not just from the top down, which gives you a little bit more choices when you're playing your cards. I really enjoyed that in Downforce, it's not just all about the person who finishes first. It's not just a race to the finish. First car across wins, nothing else matters. The betting and the auctioning is very important, and there's been many games of this that I will have the first and even the second cars across, but not win because I either spend too much money in the auction or I bet incorrectly during the race and didn't have as much money at the end of the game. So I like that even though your car finishes first, you may not win the game. Or vice versa, you may have a bunch of cars in the back, but you figured out a way of betting and auctioning correctly, so you still win the game at the end. But my favorite thing about Downforce is my favorite upgrade in all of board gaming. I enjoy the race cars provided in Downforce. I think they're a good quality component. But I am a huge fan of Mario Kart and have been since Mario Kart 64. And so when I heard about the Mario Kart upgrade for Downforce, where you take the Monopoly Gamer Mario Kart cars and add them to Downforce in place of the race cars, it makes this game so much more enjoyable for me. I love seeing a green Yoshi kart instead of the green car on the table. Even though the gameplay, I play exactly the same, there's extra rules if you want to play more Mario Kart style, but just putting the Yoshi car out there instead of the green car makes me very, very happy. It is my favorite upgrade, as I said. So ultimately, what is my rating for Downforce? The base game only, as I have playtested but do not own physical copies of the expansions. When I do acquire those, I will do separate reviews, but Downforce is one of my favorite games to get to the table. I greatly enjoy the mechanics, the ease of play, and the short time frame to do so. With all that said, Rolling with Roc gives Downforce an Ultra Ball rating. So that's it from my game room. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please consider sharing it on social media with your friends, giving a like, and leaving a comment down below. It really helps the channel grow. For For more content like this, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, check out some of my other videos that are floating around. I think you'll really enjoy them. Until next time, this was Rolling with Roc.